Obinna Iwuno is a certified blockchain educator and community builder who is the founder and head of Crypto Bootcamp community in Nigeria. As the newly elected president of SiBAN, which is the Stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria, Obinna Iwuno is dedicated to leading a new dispensation in Africa's blockchain sector. I had a chance to talk to Obinna at the Digital Nigeria conference held in Abuja in October 2023, where we discussed his involvement in numerous blockchain education efforts throughout Nigeria and other neighboring countries, and his thoughts around blockchain technology and where it is heading. Hello everybody, welcome to the Centbee Show. I'm with Obinna Iwuno, the president of the Nigerian Blockchain Association. And I'm pleased to be able to speak to you about blockchain generally in Nigeria, the kind of work that you're doing. And also I'm very keen to get your take on the BSV blockchain specifically, because I know that in Nigeria, NITDA, the National Information Technology Development Agency, is actively pushing BSV blockchain as a potential solution and training students and all that on BSV. So I'm very keen to get your opinion on that. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lorien. It's good to be with you on this show. Yeah, so when you say BSV blockchain, there's a tingle I get inside of me, like, I just want to be like, yeah, but, you know, I just want to keep it cool and all that. But the reason is this.
Yes.
What BSV blockchain is doing is creating the real solution of what blockchain should be. So today I had a conversation with Nicholas, and we are talking about why should you lose your digital assets when you lose your private key? What kind of system is that?
Yes.
The asset belongs to me.
Correct.
So if I lose my private key, but the asset is mine, I should be able to recover my assets, you know? And then I told him, I said, not just that, you know, imagine the government loses its private key. So the government should lose its assets?
Right.
How are we going to run administration? You know? And then I chipped in, I said, it's not just about losing the private key and losing the assets. Why don't we have nest of kin on our digital assets? Why don't we have inheritance on our digital assets? So, because if it's an asset, then if I want to pass over the ownership of it in case of an unforeseen natural you know, situation like that, right? Somebody should inherit it. So your digital assets should be in your will, right? And if there is something like on sudden death that happens to an owner, there should be a nest of kin to a digital asset. So I think that BSV blockchain is looking at the real use case of what blockchain technology as a technology should be providing, because what it's supposed to be providing is solutions to make life easier, right? Like what you have at the Centbee wallet. My wallet shouldn't be for speculation. The idea of creating an alternative system of payment is for utility. So I should use BSV tokens. I should use the coin to make purchases, to make payments, to perform transactions, not to hold it and speculate on, okay, the price is going to rise to XYZ and I make a lot of money. Through what? Right? So that is the reason why we have over 18,000 cryptocurrencies, and just maybe about 50 or 20 of them are useful. The rest are just useless. They are just speculative tools. And that is not what we should be having. We should be creating real solutions that solves problems for humanity, right? So that is why I am very, very excited with BSV blockchain. And I like what they are doing. And I think that I want to work with them too, right? Because I work with NITDA as the president of the Blockchain Association. I am responsible for the implementation of the national blockchain policy alongside other members of the steering committee. But being the Blockchain Association president, it becomes my primary responsibility because it is my immediate constituency, right? So I want to see everything done to make sure that both the public sector and the private sector have adopted blockchain technology technology and it goes mainstream into our society and we begin to reap those economic benefits that blockchain technology has for us as a nation. All right. So our work started many years back. We started with advocacy, trying to bring the government on board, to recognize blockchain technology. But before recognition, we wanted them to understand that blockchain technology is not cryptocurrency. And that has been our major challenge because they see it as cryptocurrency and they see cryptocurrency as scam, as fraud, as a threat to national security and all of that. So we had to do a lot. There was an antagonism in the beginning, but we kept engaging because we know that, okay, this antagonism is coming out of a state of maybe little knowledge, insufficient information about what this thing is. So our responsibility was to show them what this thing is really, so that they can come on board. And we were able to do that.
Thank you.
In 2020, we started designing the National Blockchain Roadmap, which later in 2023 became the first national blockchain policy in Africa. And then now we have a lot of African countries coming to us. I get calls from different places, trying to ask me what we're doing. Nigeria is a founding member of the Blockchain Association forums with the British Blockchain Association. So we have these forums from 9 countries that have a national blockchain roadmap, where we're trying to help other countries around the world to get their own blockchain roadmap. So it's an extensive work and one which we are very committed and dedicated to. On the other hand, also apart from advocacy for policy and regulations, we have been working on blockchain development and advancement, adoption and inclusive participation, which is bringing every sector on board in the blockchain technology, because blockchain technology is the one ecosystem that is able to absorb every ecosystem into it. Wow. And it's amazing, and blockchain has massive use case and utility in Africa because we have problems, challenges that blockchain can solve for us. Chief of them is financial inclusion. A lot of people in Africa are not financially included. They are unbanked. So blockchain technology can get them financially included, right? And they can be able to do anything, once it has to do with finances from wherever they are. And like we are talking about, making blockchain solutions not just tied to the internet, but making it accessible to anybody who can access a mobile phone. Not a smartphone, but a mobile phone with the use of a SIM card. So if you have a SIM card, you should be able to use blockchain services on a mobile phone. This is the kind of vision that I have. But then personally, I have a vision to make Nigeria the #1 exporter of blockchain jobs, talents, and solutions in the world. Just like what India has done with tech. Right? I want to make Nigeria do that with blockchain technology. Right. And that is why I started the largest African blockchain education platform called CBC, where we train young Africans and just anybody who is interested, who wants to acquire a talent, a skill on blockchain technologies and emerging technology. Why? Because we are building a global digital, we are building a digital economy in Nigeria, which we want to get plugged into the global digital economy, all right, so that it will create jobs for our teeming youthful population. Nigeria is a country of over 200 million people, and over 60% of this population is made up of young people. That means in Nigeria we have over 120 million young people whose average age is 19. That is a very youthful population. And Nigerians are the most energetic, the most intelligent, and the smartest set of people you will meet anywhere in the black race around the world.
Great.
Over 70% of the African American or African doctors of African descent in the US are Nigerians, So we are a very productive, hardworking, and energetic people. And I'm imagining what that can do for us if we are able to build at least 50 million tech-savvy youthful population in Nigeria. We are able to supply the whole world with everything that we need when it comes to tech. Yes. And especially blockchain technology.
I want to touch on that. I mean, you raised a very interesting point in the beginning, and thank you for that. That was a lot of interesting information. You spoke quite differently from what you normally hear from cryptocurrency advocates. You started out saying that, first of all, this is not about investing, it's about spending, and then also that it's meant to be legal and regulatory compliant. You know, traditionally, people involved in crypto, they say that blockchain is meant to be something that's outside of the system, that government can't control. So that's very interesting coming from the actual president of the Blockchain Association in Nigeria, doing so much work advocating for blockchain, to say that it's not about investing, it's not about anonymity, it's about regulatory compliance, and it's about cash, as well as, of course, all the other use cases. So I'm intrigued and very excited to hear that in Nigeria, the thought leaders in this space are not advocating for an anonymous cryptocurrency world, but what Satoshi himself, what he wanted to create, which was a regulatory compliant blockchain network that could facilitate cash and spending. So I'm very pleased that that's, you know, what you're advocating for. Now, could you tell me, are there any, you mentioned that you're doing some training, are there any commercial projects, or maybe are you speaking to businesses? Clearly you're involved with government at the moment, but in the private sector, do you have any conversations with traditional financial institutions or other private types of business, trying to tell them and explain to them that this is what blockchain and BSV can provide?
Yeah, okay. So before I answer your question, yes, let me chip in something about what you just said. You know, if you create something that does not assure us of safety, how are we going to adopt it? Right? Because you begin to attract criminal elements into it. These people make society unsafe for the rest of us. We don't want that. We want a safe society, you know. We want to know that we are secured. We want to know that we are protected, right? So with that, we are free, you know, to explore and experience, right?
Because so, you're not fighting against the law, you're complying with the law.
You're not fighting against the law, yes, right? You're not fighting against the law. The law was meant to keep society sane. The law maintains sanity. If there was no law, there are no better human beings anywhere on earth. You know, where you see working systems is places where the institutions that maintains the law has been made to be strong. And so individuals comply with it. For example, you beat traffic here in Nigeria. Nobody is necessarily going to charge you for doing that. But I bet in China, if you beat traffic, you are going to get a debit immediately. If you beat traffic in Switzerland, I hear it's 500 francs. You know, by the time you pay 500 francs for beating traffic, you're not going to do that again. But you beat traffic here and nobody fines you for that. Nobody holds you responsible. You see, so that is it. Strong institutions, which are regulated so that they don't also go rogue and become dictators.
And they can become commercialized because now businesses are willing to work with you and to partner with you.
Exactly. So to answer your question on the other side, yes, we've been doing a lot with the private organizations. Of course, the private organizations have not seen the point of inclusive participation that I talk about. Not necessarily on BSV, but, you know, I'm getting to, you know, explore more of the BSV ecosystem, and I'm liking every bit of it. You know, so far I'm liking what I see, and of course, when I see what I don't like, I also point it out, right? Because that is how we grow.
Is there anything that you've seen in BSV that you...
So far, I have not seen anything that I don't like. Maybe I have not explored that deep, you know, but from the level that I have explored, it looks fantastic. You know, so what I have been doing with the corporate organizations, it's been slow though, because they don't see the need for them to be in a blockchain yet. Right, but what we are doing is how to transition, like what we say, you know, there is the Web3 ecosystem as it has been created, so we are trying to help them to transition into that ecosystem. But what we are doing is not to make you abandon what you are doing to come into this one, right? What we are saying is this ecosystem is able to absorb what you are doing. What you are doing is needed here. On our platform where we offer these trainings on blockchain and emerging technologies. One of the new products that we are launching is the blockchain-specific trainings and education. And this is targeted at the corporate, private organizations. So we want you to come and learn blockchain in banking, blockchain in medicine, blockchain in agriculture, blockchain in engineering, blockchain in law, blockchain in education, because all of these things can work on blockchain. Right? So you are a banker. We're not asking you to leave banking and no. Know about blockchain and how it's applicable to banking so that you can be able to help us to create a banking solution on blockchain. You are able to help us create an agricultural solution on blockchain. A medical solution on blockchain, a manufacturing solution on blockchain, an engineering solution on blockchain. So that is what we are looking at. We are looking at a blockchain-powered economy.
And do you see it as being a multiple blockchain economy, or more like the internet, which is a single network facilitating all these types of ventures?
I think I see it as a single network, facilitating all types of, different sectors. So I see a network that can power anything and everything that you give to it.
Excellent, yes. Well, thank you so much. I mean, that was a fantastic explanation about, giving your thoughts and what you're doing here in Nigeria. I just want to know if there's anything you'd like to tell the users about where they can find out more about blockchain and your organization in Nigeria and the work that you're doing.
Yeah, so the name of our organization is Stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria. So it's called SiBAN. SiBAN is SiBAN. So you can find us online at siban.org.ng, siban.siban.org.ng. You can find us, all right, online. And then for the training and the education that I am doing in Nigeria is with the CBC blockchain community. So CBC blockchain can be found online as cbccommunity.com, all right? So that is where we have the largest network in Africa. We are present in 8 African countries, and Nigeria is our largest base, right? So there is virtually no place you go to, no city you go to in this country, no tertiary institution that you wouldn't find a member of CBC.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of people have stopped me at this event to introduce themselves. They are members of my community. I don't know them because we have tens of thousands of members online. This afternoon I received the chairman of the Ugandan National IT Authority, and he was surprised to learn that I have been doing things in Uganda, but I've never been to Uganda. From Nigeria here, I do those things, So I created the first Pan-African event in Nigeria, and it's called Bitcoin Pizza Day. The reason I created Bitcoin Pizza Day as an event in Africa was to celebrate adoption and to preach adoption to the mainstream, right? What Satoshi brought. So people look at Lanslow and say, the guy, he wasted 10,000 Bitcoin. Those are people who are always thinking about from the speculative standpoint. So all they see is the amount of Bitcoin he wasted, how much that Bitcoin is today. They don't see the fact that this guy was able to implement the real use case of Bitcoin by making Bitcoin a utility that it was meant to be, to use it to purchase pizza. So in my opinion, he is a legend, not somebody to be talked about anyhow. And so I started the Bitcoin Pizza Day. Last year, we had the Bitcoin Pizza Day in 4 countries across Africa, in 18 cities and 19 locations, because in Lagos we always have 2 locations, one on the Lagos Island and one on the Lagos mainland every year, because Lagos is big and the population is massive. Then this year we had the Bitcoin Pizza Day in 31 cities across 9 countries, all happening at the same time on the same day, all over the countries where it's happening. And I never went to any of this country. Yes. I was right here in Nigeria, and I coordinated that through the CBC network.
Right.
You see, so that is why CBC is very powerful and important.
Yes.
You know, so we can do anything that we want and make it go round.
Yes.
You know, at any time.
Yes.
You know, because our focus is blockchain technology, and it has been massive. You know, last year when we did it, we were the only ones. This year, I saw a lot of brands now celebrating Bitcoin Pizza Day. Yes. And I was happy. I said, yes! I started something that is already becoming a phenomenon. So now brands are beginning to budget for Bitcoin Pizza Day. They want to have celebrations about Bitcoin Pizza Day. Yes. So the next thing I want to be able to achieve is to tell them the reason why I started Bitcoin Pizza Day. Yes. It is not to speculate.
Absolutely.
It is to drive adoption to the mainstream.
And use Bitcoin the way it was intended as cash.
As cash.
Well, thank you so much for that phenomenal explanation of what's been going on. It was very interesting indeed. And I look forward to working with you and exploring more about what you're doing here in Nigeria, because you know, Centbee does have a Nigeria focus. Yeah. So I'd like to thank all of you for joining us here on the Centbee Show. We're reporting live from the Digital Nigeria 2023 conference in Abuja, and please come back soon.
Yeah, thank you.